feels almost redundant to say at this point, but the freshest gaming experiences are often found in the indie space, but it's true. Games made by independent studios on smaller budgets by smaller teams. Games that are not made to please shareholders or necessarily appeal to the largest audience possible, but instead to realize a vision that a larger studio might shy away from. Also, indie games in spirit. Games where the studio may have a publisher and a larger budget, but the resulting game still feels like it could have been made in total independence. These games are often still full of the joy that made us fall in love with games in the first place. Today I want to shine a spotlight on 8 upcoming indie games that I'm excited about, and that hopefully will excite you as well. Please do not take this as a list of games that you must play, but simply as a list of games that you could play. I myself probably won't get around to all of them, neither will you, and that's fine. Before we get started, hi, I'm Jerry, and welcome to my channel Scharfsinn, where you'll find reviews, first impressions, discussions, and spotlights on all manner of video games. I also like to post reviews over on Backloggd under the same name if you're interested. If you're into any of that, I'd be glad to see you stick around. But now, let's get started.
Do they understand what we're doing?
You mean climbing? There's no way they could get it.
Do you like mountains? Do you like climbing? Do you like rock climbing? Then maybe Cairn is right up your alley. Coming from a studio that is known for creating vast different experiences every time, this upcoming indie game is all about climbing your way to the top of a mountain. It's the kind of game best described as a meditative experience, as most of it seems to consist of hanging on a mountainside, looking for the next handhold, feeling the tension of almost falling off and breathing a sigh of relief once you've reached the top. Along your journey you can set up camp to rest and heal, meet fellow climbers and enjoy the beautiful landscape around you. From what I've played in the demo, because yes there is a demo, Cairn feels very special. It's such a simple game, but it seems to fully capitalize on its premise. Climbing up these sheer walls, desperately looking for safe spots to put your hands and feet, is relaxing and stressful in equal measure. It's the kind of game that seems to have a clear, narrow vision of the experience it wants to create and has polished it down to a shine. After Fury and Haven, the game makers have taken another left turn to do whatever the hell they want, and once again it seems to have paid off. If the whole game holds up to what the demo showcased, I think this could become a real gem. Cairn is coming out on November 5th, 2025 on PC, PS5 and Xbox Series S and X. Tarsier Studios are no strangers to crafting a dark and disturbing horror game, where you play as a child in an oversized and incomprehensible world. After Little Nightmares 1 and 2, they are returning to the bread and butter with their newest game, Reanimal. Technically I'm cheating a bit with this one since it does actually have a publisher, but this is absolutely an indie game in size and spirit. In this solo or co-op horror adventure you play as a brother and sister searching for their missing friends in a dark and twisted world. It looks to be a linear and set-piece driven experience with no shortage of nightmarish creatures hunting you. And yeah, this is essentially Little Nightmares in everything but one thing. Instead of the creatures being twisted versions of humans, Reanimal, like the title implies, focuses on other animals. The most prominent one in the trailers and the cover art is this twisted version of a sheep, and my god, it does look terrifying. It's fascinating that this game is coming out in parallel to the actual Little Nightmares 3, which is being made by a different studio. Both of them give you the option to play them solo or co-op and obviously share many elements visually and gameplay wise. But to me at least, Little Nightmares 3 looks just a little bit too safe and uninspired, while Reanimal looks to have a fresh vision for this style of game, and I can't wait to see it in full. Reanimal doesn't have a release date yet, but it's slated to come out sometime in 2026 on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, as well as Nintendo Switch 2. Replaced was announced in a stunning reveal trailer 4 years ago, showcasing stylish 2D pixel art in a 3D cyberpunk world. Describing itself as a 2.5D sci-fi retro-futuristic action platformer, that's a mouthful, Replaced is a game that combines cinematic flair with platforming and action combat. From what the studio has shown off, the game does primarily seem focused on exploring these beautiful environments and fighting off enemies in counter-based combat. It looks deceptively simple so far, but I think the game has much more up its sleeve than it's letting on, particularly in its story. You play as Reach, an AI trapped in a human body, and while details on the story have been light, it's likely that it will revolve around finding a way to get out of that body. It's a fairly standard sci-fi premise, to be honest, and my guess would be that it will try to set itself apart in the way it presents that kind of story. According to the footage the studio has shown, you can talk to plenty of NPCs in this vibrant world, which hopefully offers a set of characters to care about that make the setting feel alive. It's not an RPG, so there won't be any decision making here, but world interactivity is always a plus. Replaced seems to be a game with plenty of gameplay variety, but one that is still ultimately about the vibes, the stunning visuals and cyberpunk fantasy. We'll have to wait a bit longer to find out though. Replaced will be launching in spring 2026 on PC and Xbox Series X and S.
You're right at home behind that desk because you're no hero. You're a nerd playing a video game in a suit your daddy built.
Superhero movies have stagnated in the last few years, yes, and the same might be said for superhero games as well. But this batch is here to break that trend with a gameplay formula that we have just not seen in this genre. In this debut title from the indie studio Ad Hoc, you take the role of Robert Robertson, aka Mecha Man, a former superhero whose suit got destroyed and now has to work an office job dispatching other heroes on their missions. It's a story-driven workplace comedy with a focus on making decisions that have actual consequences. There's a demo out for it, and it seems to be a mix of really well directed and acted cutscenes and engaging gameplay of managing a set of superheroes. The voice acting is also outstanding, and the cast is insane. Aaron Paul and Jeffrey Wright are in this. Like, what? I'm honestly shocked that this is a debut indie title because this production quality is insane. So I thought to myself, surely there are some industry veterans working on this. And sure enough, the studio is made up of former Telltale Games developers who worked on The Walking Dead and The Wolf Among Us. These people really know how to tell a compelling story, but what this demo has shown me is that they also know how to weave that into a novel gameplay structure. If you're at all into superhero stories, Dispatch is one to keep an eye on. It actually just got a release date as I was editing this video, and it's October 22nd and it's coming out for PC and PS5. I'm a sucker for rhythm-based action games. Hi-Fi Rush, for example, was one of my absolute favorite games I played last year, and it's given me an itch that needs scratching. Dead as Disco seems to be able to fill that role. It's a tight, rhythm-based action game with a focus on martial arts. Describing itself as a neon-drenched beat-em-up, it's a game where you really need to feel the rhythm to succeed. There's a demo out for this too, and it seems like the game will shuttle you directly from combat scenario to combat scenario in very curated arenas with their own twists. For example, there is one where you are in a train station and have to keep an eye on trains coming straight through the arena. There is a story here, but the focus seems to be clearly on just providing a boost of dopamine with its combat. In solo or in co-op, you beat up waves of enemies to the music of your liking. Like in other rhythm-based games like Beat Saber, there will be a lot of licensed songs alongside an original OST, as well as the option to upload your own music to craft the experience to your liking, and that just sounds awesome. There isn't that much to say about this one, it's just straight up fun if you like this style of game, and I'll definitely be keeping an eye on it. There is no release date yet, but Dead as Disco is coming to PC soon. And to keep you busy, the devs are updating the demo as I speak.
Can you hear it? A voice beneath the wind. Calling me.
Ori and the Will of Wisps is my favorite Metroidvania game and one of my favorite games period. So when I heard that the studio behind it, Moon Studios, were working on an isometric action RPG, my first feeling was cautious excitement. I'm talking of course about No Rest for the Wicked, a game that's been in early access for over a year now. The most striking aspect of this game is obviously its aesthetic. It's jaw-droppingly beautiful, just like the Ori games. On Steam, it's categorized as a Souls-like, which promises plenty of challenge and rewarding exploration. According to early reviews, the game's levels aren't that long to run through but are very complex and hide many secrets to discover. Going by the trailers, it all seems to be telling a compelling and cinematic fantasy story, which I'm always down for. Those same reviews have ebbed and flowed since the game's initial release, with many lamenting poor balancing and certain design decisions that only make the game tedious. Right now though, things are looking brighter as the reviews are sitting at 80% positive. I honestly can't wait to see what this game has to offer once it's fully finished. There is no release date yet, and it may yet be a while until there is one, but considering Moon Studios' track record, I have no doubt that this one will end up being a great time.
At the end of an era, when everything's about to change, it's time to look back on your greatest hits.
Here's a little bonus game that I didn't even have on my radar until I started writing the script for this video. If you're into Life is Strange, this might just scratch that itch. This is Mixtape, a narrative-driven experience about 3 friends on a trip down memory lane. To a soundtrack of a generation, you play through little narrative vignettes of the moments that shape these characters' lives. It seems to go right for those same feels as Life is Strange, in all its teenage angst, American high school vibes, pseudo-punk aesthetic and indie soundtrack. A match made in heaven. At this point, it almost seems like a timeless setting, and I'm glad that this little indie game is carrying on that torch. It's coming from the studio Beethoven and Dinosaur, who previously made The Artful Escape, which was also a story-driven game focused on memory. Mixtape seems to be a lot more cinematic though, and what I would describe as the perfect Sunday afternoon game. If you have an affection for games like this as I do, definitely keep an eye on this one. Mixtape doesn't have a release date yet, but it's slated to come out this year on PC, PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. Last but not least, here's the most obvious one.
Death to Kronos.
Death to Kronos.
This is an opportunity for you to make a better future for us all.
Hades 2. It's the follow-up to the universally beloved roguelite Hades that served as an entry point to the genre for many, myself included. Once again you dive into Greek mythology and battle all manner of monsters, meet all kinds of gods. This time around though you play as Melano, the sister of the first game's protagonist Zagreus. Once again you crawl your way through dungeons, but this time your goal is not to get out of the underworld, instead your mission is to kill Kronos, the Titan of Time. Hades 2 has been in early access for a while now and is by all accounts shaping up to be another excellent roguelite with an endearing set of characters, an exhilarating combat loop, blood-pumping soundtrack and great variety between runs. From the footage I've seen, it looks to be a very iterative sequel, which can be a bad thing but also a very good thing, as Silksong has just recently shown. The original Hades is one of my favorite games, and the studio behind it, Supergiant, is hailed as one of the best indie studios for a reason. Hades 2 recently got a release date for its 1.0 release. It's coming out on September 25th for PC and both Nintendo Switches, with PS5 and Xbox versions likely coming at a later date. Taking a look at what's going on in the indie space always feels refreshing, and all of these look like just the kinds of experiences that I crave every once in a while. I am cheating a bit with Reanimal and Replaced since they do technically have publishers, but they are indie games in spirit, like I explained in the intro. I'm sure that there are plenty more exciting titles I haven't mentioned here, so please feel free to share in the comments which upcoming or current indie releases have caught your attention. That's it from me, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope to see you again next time.